Welcome back to the deep dive. I have to be honest with you, and with everyone listening right now, today's topic kept me up last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mean that in a metaphorical, oh, that was an interesting read kind of way. I mean, I was literally staring at the ceiling at 2 in the morning, just thinking about my life.
That is usually how this specific source material hits people.
Because I realized I have basically been leaving my front door wide open for about a decade.
Right, and that is a feeling I think most people have when they really start peeling back the layers of their digital lives.
It is terrifying.
It is that sudden cold realization that the security we think we have is mostly just wishful thinking. It's a bit like realizing the lock on your front door is actually made of chocolate.
Made of chocolate, exactly. And so we're diving into a breakdown today called the Digital Century.
Mm.
And the mission here is really specific.
Very specific.
We aren't talking to the IT crowd today. We aren't talking to coders or system administrators or the people who actually know what a hash salt is.
Because they already know all of this.
Right. We are talking to the everyday person. The source material actually uses the term insane, which translates to the common person, the person who uses the internet for banking, for Instagram, for email, but has absolutely no idea how the plumbing actually works.
And that is the most dangerous demographic to be in.
Why is that?
Because if you don't know how the plumbing works, you don't know when the pipes are leaking until the basement is flooded.
Until the foundation is cracking?
Exactly.
So let's set the stage here. The source material uses this incredibly sticky analogy that I want to anchor our whole conversation around today. It asks us to basically stop thinking of our online accounts as apps.
Right. Stop thinking of them as icons on a screen.
Or cloud storage or whatever abstract concept we use. Think of your digital life as a physical house.
It is really the only way to firmly grasp the stakes here. I mean, if I tell you that someone accessed your data packet, you shrug.
Yeah, I would just say, okay, well, I don't know what a data packet is, so.
Right. But if I tell you someone is currently standing in your living room, going through your physical photo albums, reading your diary, and checking the balance in your wall safe.
My pulse spikes immediately.
Exactly. It makes it real.
And in this analogy, the source introduces two main characters. Character number one is the password, and the password is simply the house key.
Simple enough, right? You have a lock on the door, you have a key in your pocket. That is the traditional model of security we have used for, 30 years on the internet?
But here is where most of us fail immediately. The source argues that most of us are using keys made of cardboard.
Or worse.
Right? Or we are taking that key, making 50 copies of it, and handing them out to strangers at the mall.
That is the password reuse problem, which we will get into in excruciating detail later, but it is essentially the structural equivalent of keying your front door, your car, your office, your safe deposit box, and your gym locker with the exact same key.
And then losing it at a bar. That is a terrifying thought. But then there is a second character in the source, the protagonist of today's deep dive, really.
The security guard.
Right. Two-Factor Authentication, or 2FA.
This is the guard standing at the gate of your house.
And the central tension of this entire discussion, the thing we need to resolve today for you, the listener, is this. If your key is flimsy, and we will prove to you today that your key is likely very flimsy,
It is.
and you do not have a guard at the gate, who exactly is stopping the thief?
The answer is no one. Absolutely no one.
And that is why we are seeing this epidemic of hacked accounts.
It isn't because hackers are geniuses. It is because we aren't even locking the door.
So here is the roadmap for this deep dive. We are going to debunk the Hollywood hacker myth. Spoiler alert, they aren't typing green code in a dark basement while techno music plays.
Not even close.
We are going to walk through a legitimate nightmare scenario of an Instagram takeover that is so realistic it actually made me check my own settings while reading the prep material.
I did the same thing.
We are going to talk about the crown jewels, the one account you absolutely cannot afford to lose, and finally, we're going to give you the action plan, the specific settings you need to change today to hire that security guard.
It is a survival guide, plain and simple.
Let's start with the weakest link. The source material is pretty brutal about our bad habits.
It doesn't pull any punches.
No, it doesn't. It lists the most common passwords people still use in the current year. And it is genuinely embarrassing for us as a species. I mean, we have been doing this internet thing for a while now.
You would really think by now we would have learned. But the top contenders are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Of course.
Or just the word password.
Classic.
QWERTY. Or, and this is a really common one, name at 1, 2, 3.
Name it 1, 2, 3.
Like John at 1, 2, 3.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is not a lock. That is a push-to-open sticker. That is a beaded curtain.
It really is cognitive laziness.
But is it laziness or just being overwhelmed?
Well, we have to be fair. It is understandable laziness. We have to empathize with the user here. Think about your own life. You have 50, maybe 100 different accounts.
Netflix, Hulu, HBO, my bank, my credit card, the pizza place.
The gym, the knitting forum, the parking app, it just never ends. And the human brain is simply not designed to memorize 100 unique complex strings of alphanumeric nonsense.
It really isn't. I struggle to remember my own license plate half the time.
Exactly. So we default to patterns. We crave patterns as humans. We want friction-free access. When you are hungry and you just want to order a pizza, you do not want to hunt for a notebook to find a 16-character password like capital X7 hashtag lowercase b.
No, you just want to type pizza 123 exclamation point and get my food.
Right. Or you use your dog's name. Or your kid's birthday, something that is right there on the surface of your memory.
And that is a problem, isn't it? What is on the surface of your memory is often on the surface of your social media, too.
Yes. But the source makes a really critical distinction here that we need to focus on. The problem isn't just that pizza 123 exclamation point is easy to guess. The real problem is the behavior that comes after choosing that password.
The domino effect.
The domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
This is the concept that keeps security experts up at night.
This is the part that really scared me. Because I think a lot of us think, okay, so what if my password for a random message board isn't great? It's just a message board. Who cares?
Let's go back to the house key analogy. Imagine you have that sturdy front door key. You spent good money on it, but you also use that exact same key for a locker at a really sketchy gym.
A gym with no cameras, no security guard.
And the locker doors are made of tin.
Okay, I am picturing this gym. It smells like old socks and bad decisions.
Exactly. And someone breaks into that gym locker. It takes them 2 seconds. They steal your key. Now, they don't just have access to your gym clothes. They look at the key and say, I bet this opens his house, too.
Wow. So in digital terms, this is using the same password for your primary email that you use for, say, a random online t-shirt shop you bought from once 5 years ago.
Precisely. Let's call it Bob's Discount T-shirts. Bob is a nice guy, but Bob runs his website out of his garage. He doesn't have $1 million cybersecurity budget.
He probably set it up himself on a weekend.
He might even store your password in plain text, which is a huge no-no in the tech world, but it happens all the time with these small sites. If Bob gets hacked and small sites get hacked constantly, the hackers steal his entire database.
And now they have my email and my password.
Your email and your password right there in a spreadsheet.
And they know that human nature is lazy. They know we are creatures of habit, so they bet that you use that same password for Amazon.
For PayPal.
For Gmail.
And more often than not, they are right. You didn't get hacked because Google has bad security. Google has incredible security.
I got thousands of engineers.
You got hacked because you gave the key to your Google Vault to a stranger at a t-shirt shop.
That really reframes the blame, doesn't it?
What is that?
We tend to get mad at the big companies when we get hacked, but often it is this daisy chain of our own making. We are the ones connecting the dots for the hackers.
We are, and this leads us directly into demystifying who is actually doing the hacking, because I think this is where the biggest disconnect is for the average person listening right now. We have this very specific, very dramatic image in our heads of what a hacker is.
Oh, absolutely. When I think hacker, I think Mr. Robot.
The guy in the hoodie.
The guy in the hoodie drinking Red Bull, staring at 6 monitors, typing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, trying to crack my firewall in real time. I imagine a battle of wits.
The movie Genius. It makes for great cinema, but it creates this deeply flawed idea that the hacker is focusing on you, that you are the target, that they have a picture of you on their wall and they are plotting your specific digital demise.
Right, and that leads to this false sense of security where people say, well, why would a super genius hacker target me? I am nobody. I have like $500 in my bank account and photos of my dog. I am just not worth the effort.
And that is the fatal flaw in thinking. To a hacker, you aren't a person. You aren't Sarah who likes baking or Dave who likes golf.
What am I then?
You are a row in a spreadsheet. Real hacking, the kind that affects 99% of people, is industrial, it is bureaucratic, it is honestly quite boring.
So they aren't guessing my password. They aren't sitting there typing 1, then 2, then 3.
No human is guessing your password. They are using a technique called credential stuffing.
Break that down for us. What does credential stuffing actually look like on the hacker's screen? If I were standing over their shoulder, what would I see?
Okay, remember that breach at Bob's t-shirt shop we just talked
The
about?
one with the plain text passwords.
Right. That database gets sold on the dark web, or honestly, sometimes it just gets posted for free on hacker forums for anyone to download. These are called combo lists. They contain millions of rows. Email password, just raw text.
So the hacker buys this list for what, a few bucks?
Pennies. Sometimes free. It is like buying a phone book. Then they load this list into a software tool, a bot. They point the bot at a target, say Instagram.
Okay.
The bot takes the first email and password from the list, types it into Instagram's login page, and hits enter.
Faster than a human could ever do it.
Hundreds of times per second. If the login fails, the bot discards it and tries the next one immediately. It doesn't care. It runs 24/7. It is phishing with a massive dragnet, not a spear.
So they're just checking to see if the key fits the other locks. They're literally walking down the street, knocking on every single door in the neighborhood to see which one is unlocked.
Exactly. They are betting on the statistics of human laziness. If they run 1 million stolen credentials against Instagram and only 0.1% of people reuse their password,
Which is a very conservative estimate.
extremely conservative. But even at 0.1%, that is still 1,000 successful hacks. 1,000 accounts they now own with zero manual effort.
That makes it feel so much more random. You aren't being targeted because you are special. You are being targeted because you are available. You are just there.
Precisely. It is an automated drive-by. It is not personal malice. It is just automated opportunity.
Let's make this totally concrete for the listener. The source material outlines a case study of an Instagram takeover. And I want to walk through this step by step because the speed of it is what shocked me. It is not a slow process.
You know, it happens in seconds.
So let's meet our victim. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is a regular user. She has an Instagram account she has had for maybe 5 years. She uses it to keep up with friends, maybe follow some cooking pages,
She is not an influencer.
right? She doesn't have a blue check. She thinks she is completely safe.
And crucially for our story, Sarah set her password back in 2019 and hasn't changed it since. And she does not have two-factor authentication turned on.
The gate is unguarded and the key is old.
Step 1. A completely unrelated website she used years ago, maybe a fitness tracker app she forgot about, suffers a data breach. Sarah's email and that old password are leaked onto the dark web.
And Sarah is currently sleeping.
Yeah.
She has no idea this happened. She deleted that fitness app 2 years ago.
She has absolutely no idea. Then, step 2. A hacker's bot picks up the list and tests it against Instagram.
And because Sarah reused the password,
Step 3. Green light. Successful login. The bot flags the account as live. Now, usually at this point, a human steps in or a more sophisticated script takes over to actually secure the asset.
this is step 4, the takeover. What is the very first thing they do?
They don't look at her photos. They don't read her DMs. Not yet. They don't care about her life yet.
What do they care about?
The first priority is persistence. They need to make sure Sarah can't get back in to stop them, so they immediately change the password.
So Sarah's key stops working right then and there.
Then instantly they change the email address and the phone number associated with the account.
So Sarah wakes up and tries to click forgot password.
The reset link goes to the hacker's email, not hers. She is entirely cut off from the communication loop. She is shouting into the void.
That is a sinking feeling. But the source mentions a step 5, the ultimate lockout. This is the part that felt really cruel to me when I was reading it.
This is the cruelest irony of modern hacking. The hacker goes into the settings and enables two-factor authentication for themselves.
They hired the security guard.
They hire the guard to keep Sarah out.
Wow.
They link the account to an authenticator app on their own phone. So now even if Sarah somehow gets Instagram support on the phone, which is incredibly difficult, by the way.
Almost impossible to get a real human.
Right. And even if she proves who she is, the system sees that 2FA is active. It assumes the person with the code is the true owner.
It effectively seals the account in concrete.
It makes recovery exponentially harder. It turns a 10-minute problem into a 6-month battle that she will likely lose. And while Sarah is panicking trying to find a customer support number that doesn't exist, the aftermath begins.
The crypto scams.
Almost immediately. The hacker posts to her story. It is usually something like, OMG, I just turned $500 into $5,000. In 3 hours, ask me how.
And because it is Sarah who posts about baking and her dog, her friends trust it.
That is the commodity, trust. The hacker isn't stealing Sarah's data, they are stealing her social capital. They are monetizing her personal relationships.
And Sarah just has to watch this happen from the outside. She gets texts from her aunt saying, "Is this real? Should I
And
invest?"
she can't stop it. That feeling of helplessness, the reputational damage, is often far worse than the loss of the account itself. We treat these accounts as frivolous, but they are our public faces. When your face is used to rob your friends, that is a traumatic event. It damages real-world
It
relationships.
really destroys the "it won't happen to me" mindset. Because even if you don't have money to steal, you have friends to scam.
Everyone has social capital.
But I want to pivot to something the source calls the crown jewels. Because as bad as losing Instagram is, there's something much, much worse.
The email account.
Right. The source makes this bold statement. Email hack equals entire digital life hack. Why is the email the single point of failure here? Why is it more important than the bank account itself?
Think about the architecture of the internet. How do you prove you are you? We don't have digital DNA swabs yet. We don't have retina scans for most websites. We use email verification.
It is the skeleton key.
It is the master reset mechanism. Every other service, your bank, your social media, your Amazon, your Netflix, your healthcare portal, they all rely on email to reset passwords.
So if I lose my key to Facebook, I ask Facebook to send a new key to my email.
Right. Now imagine a hacker controls your email. They don't need your Facebook password. They don't need your bank password. They don't need to guess anything. They just go to the bank's website, click Forgot Password, and intercept the reset link that arrives in the inbox they now control.
They can systematically unlock every door in your life.
Every single one. They can sit there for an hour and reset every account you have ever created. And the scariest part of the email hack is what the source calls the silent nature of the attack.
Explain that. Because with Instagram, you know immediately you get locked out. Your password stops working and you see the crypto scams.
Right. But a smart hacker who gets into your email will not lock you out, not at first. They want you to feel safe. They want you to keep using the email like normal. So they will log in and they will create email rules or filters.
Like what kind of rules?
They will set a rule that says any email containing the words password reset or bank or alert automatically mark as read and move to trash.
Whoa. So they are scrubbing the crime scene in real time.
Exactly. They trigger the password reset for your bank. The email arrives. The hacker opens, it clicks the link, changes your bank password, and drains your account. The alert email is automatically deleted by the rule they set up. You, the user, check your email an hour later to look for a coupon or something, and everything looks perfectly normal.
You have absolutely no idea you were being robbed.
You don't know until your card gets declined at the grocery store, or until your identity theft protection alerts you to a new loan in your name. By then, the damage is catastrophic. If the Instagram hack is a house fire, the email hack is a nuclear bomb.
That puts a whole new level of urgency on this. We aren't just talking about likes and comments. We are talking about financial ruin and identity theft. We are talking about losing control of your entire existence.
That is why we call it the crown jewels. You can survive losing a limb, which is essentially what losing Instagram is, but you cannot survive losing the heart. And the email is the heart of your digital body.
Okay, I think everyone listening is sufficiently terrified. I am sufficiently terrified. My hands are sweating a little bit, to be honest.
It is heavy stuff.
The house is on fire, the keys are stolen, the burglars are in circle. Please tell me about the solution.
There is good news, I promise. The source material is titled The Digital Century for a reason. There is a defense that is incredibly effective, and it is likely already on your phone.
The security guard. Two-factor authentication.
Let's strip away the tech jargon and look at what this actually is. Authentication really just comes down to three things. Something you know, which is your password. Something you have, which is your phone. And something you are in the text, which is biometrics, like Face ID.
But most of us just rely on the something you know.
Which, as we established, is the weakest factor because it can be shared, stolen, or guessed. It is just knowledge. Knowledge can be copied. 2FA adds the something you have.
So walk us through this scenario again with 2FA turned on. The hacker has bought the list. They have Sarah's password. They try to log into her email.
They enter the password. The system checks it. Correct. The password matches. But because Sarah turned on 2FA, the door doesn't open. Instead, a prompt appears saying, enter the 6-digit code from your Authenticator app.
No, where's that code?
That code is generating live on Sarah's physical phone, which is sitting on her nightstand in Chicago. The hacker is in a basement in, say, Eastern Europe.
They don't have the phone.
They don't have the something you have. They hit a brick wall.
And the source cites a statistic here that I found staggering. It says that enabling 2FA Blocks 99.9% of automated attacks.
It essentially kills the bot. The bot is designed to enter a password and move on. It is not designed to negotiate a secondary challenge. When it hits the 2FA wall, it just fails and moves to the next name on the list.
But what about the human hacker? Why don't they try to hack the phone to get the code? Why don't they try to clone the SIM card?
This brings us to hacker psychology. We have to remember, this is a business. It is about ROI, return on investment.
The path of least resistance.
Exactly. Yeah. Think about it like a burglar walking down a street. He tries the handle of the first house. It is locked, but there is a deadbolt. That's the 2FA. He looks at the second house. The door is wide open. No 2FA. Which house does he rob?
The open one. Every time. Why work harder for the same payout?
Exactly. He isn't going to spend 3 days trying to pick the deadbolt on house number 1 when he can rob house number 2 in 30 seconds. Hackers specifically filter their lists to find accounts where 2FA is off.
So simply by having it on title, you aren't making yourself unhackable in a theoretical Mission Impossible sense, because a state-sponsored spy could still get you. But you are making yourself not worth the trouble for the average criminal.
You are making yourself a hard target, and opportunistic criminals hate hard targets. They want low-hanging fruit. They want the easy win.
That is actually really empowering. You don't have to be a tech wizard. You just have to be slightly more secure than the next guy.
It is the old joke about outrunning the bear. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the person running next to you. And in the digital world, most people are standing entirely still.
So let's get practical. The source provides an action plan. Rules for the common person. I want to go through these in extreme detail because people often get overwhelmed by security advice. They think they need to buy expensive software or learn code.
No, these are just settings. They are free and they take 5 minutes.
Rule number 1. Use a unique password for every account. Never reuse.
This is the antidote to the domino effect. If Bob's t-shirt shop leaks your password and you only use that password for Bob's shop, then who cares? The hackers have a key that opens the door to nothing. Your email, your bank, your Instagram are all on completely different keys.
But the objection I always hear, and the objection I have myself, is how? How do I remember 50 passwords? If I can't remember my mom's birthday, how am I going to remember 50 complex codes?
You don't. You shouldn't even try. This is where I strongly recommend a password manager. It is a secure vault on your device. You remember one really strong master password to open the vault, and the vault remembers everything else. It will even generate those long, crazy, random passwords for you.
Like the capital X7 hashtag ones.
Exactly. You don't need to know it. You just copy and paste it. It fills it in for you. Yeah. But if you are resistant to password managers, some people don't trust them or they feel too technical, then at the very least, you must use unique passwords for the core accounts. Email, bank, social media. Write them down in a physical notebook if you have to.
Wait, a physical notebook. Isn't that dangerous? Isn't that like rule number 1 of what not to do?
Compared to reusing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No. Think about the threat model here. A physical notebook in your desk drawer cannot be hacked from Russia. Unless the hacker breaks into your actual physical house, that notebook is safe. It is air-gapped. It is a totally valid strategy for the non-tech savvy. Just don't leave it on your desk at work.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Low-tech solutions for high-tech problems. Yeah. Rule number 2. Length is strength.
Yes. People obsess over complexity. They think they need capital P at sign $, $W0RED. But computers are very good at guessing short, complex strings. They are very bad at guessing long strings.
The source suggests 12 to 16 characters.
I recommend using a passphrase. String together 4 completely random words. Purple elephant eating pizza.
That paints quite a picture.
It is easy to remember. You can visualize it. But mathematically, the entropy, the randomness of that phrase is so high that it would take a supercomputer centuries to crack it. Length beats complexity every single time.
Rule number 3. Enable 2FA on email first. Priority number 1.
If you leave this deep dive and do only one thing, ignore everything else if you have to do this. Go to Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, whatever you use. Go to security settings. Turn on two-step verification. Do not wait. Protect the crown jewels.
Rule number 4. Enable 2FA on social platforms.
Protect your reputation. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a big one people always forget. If someone hijacks your WhatsApp, they can scam your entire contact list instantly. And recovering WhatsApp is an absolute nightmare.
And rule number 5, digital hygiene. Do not click on unknown links.
This is the defense against phishing. Sometimes a hacker knows they can't break your wall. They know you have 2FA set up. So they try to trick you into opening the gate yourself. They send an email that looks exactly like Netflix. Your payment failed. Click here to update.
And it looks so real. The logo, the font, the color scheme.
It is identical. But if you hover over the link, it doesn't say netflix.com. It says netflix-support-update.com or something sketchy.
So the golden rule is if you get an urgent email, don't click the link.
Never click the link.
Yeah.
Go to the browser, type in netflix.com yourself and log in. If there is a real problem, it will be there on your dashboard. Don't trust the inbox.
It is really about slowing down. Hackers rely on urgency. They want you to panic. Act now or lose your account.
Because panic bypasses critical thinking. Security is about taking a deep breath and checking the URL.
As we wrap up this deep dive, the source material has a really interesting philosophical take on luck.
I loved this section. It addresses the cultural concept of badkismati, which means bad luck. We hear this all the time. Oh, poor Sarah, she got hacked. Such bad luck.
Like getting struck by lightning, something you just can't control.
But the source argues, no, this is not lightning. This is cause and effect. If you park your car in a high-crime area, leave the windows down, the keys on the seat, and a neon sign pointing to them and it gets stolen, is that bad luck?
No, that is negligence.
It is a harsh truth, but it is necessary. The internet is a high-crime area. It is full of pockets and thieves. If we walk through it with our pockets wide open, we are inviting disaster.
But the flip side of that harsh truth is agency. If it isn't luck, that means we can actually control it.
Exactly. We are not helpless victims. We are the architects of our own security. We can choose to roll up the windows and lock the doors.
The final takeaway really drives it home. Passwords will likely be stolen.
We have to operate on the assumption of breach. Companies get hacked every single day. Your password will eventually end up on a list. You cannot stop that. The levees will break.
We can't stop the leak.
But we can stop the entry. 2FA is the final wall. That is the mantra. When the password fails, the guard stands firm. It is the difference between a minor annoyance and a life-altering disaster.
It is peace of mind.
It is. It is sleeping well at night knowing the guard is on duty.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you, the listener, with a provocative thought. A little homework assignment for the brain. We have talked a lot about the crown jewels, your email. I want you to pause and really visualize something right now.
Go on.
If you tried to log into your main email account right now, the one you have had for 10 years, and it said password incorrect, and you couldn't get it back, it was gone forever, what would you actually lose?
That is a terrifying question.
Not just the emails, but think about the photos stored in the cloud linked to that email, the documents in the drive, the access to your bank, the memories, the ability to verify your identity to the world. If that vanished in a blink, how much of you would vanish with it?
It is a digital lobotomy. You lose a part of yourself.
And knowing that when was the last time you checked the security guard at that specific gate? Is he there? Or is the door just resting on the latch?
Check your settings tonight. Do not wait until tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. We hope this scared you just enough to make you safe.
Stay secure.
Catch you the next one.